also try to agitate people.
4 years later, in 1987, on 20th March at around 11 o'clock, the then dreaded special branch pounced on him.
It was a sad occasion because my mother was sick. I had actually stomach cancer. I was treating her, she was elderly. And there it is, they came and did a lot of inspection. They combed everything in my house, to believe me.
That night he was blindfolded, bundled on a Land Rover and driven from Kisumu to Nairobi's Nyayo house.
I did not know where I was completely. You get baffled and terribly scaring. Terribly scaring. Terribly scaring. They were kind. After about 30 minutes or so, they brought me a cup of tea. The tea was good. I took that tea because I was hungry. Then another 30 minutes they came back for me. Blindfolded me again. Tell me to follow them. Held my hands in a lift. The lift went very, very far. But once we reached the room, they unfold you and then you get your interrogators. With very cruel eyes done, again very much scary. Very much scary. With somebody who was very tall, dark, we learned later on he was called Odhiambo.
For 17 days, he was interrogated continuously by a team of special branch officers.
Again, they tell you, that you utazungumuza. Some, cane you on your feet and very tender places, particularly Kisigino, this part which we call malleolus. It's very painful. And this part of, you are very, very painful. You cry, and so you cry until then you find you cannot cry. That you will talk. You will talk. You've been pretending that you're Jaramogi Oginga Odinga's personal physician. That is not the only work you are doing. You are involved in clandestine organizations to overthrow the government. I say, no, I don't know about all these things. Don't you know Mwakenya? I say, no, I don't. If you don't know, you'll tell us, you will know. Likely after that beating, you see, they dressed me up because you cry until you cannot cry. Because you are beaten, but you don't feel the pain.
He describes Nyayo House as a house of terror.
I think Nyayo House was built with intention to torture. Yeah, because, you get to a place where you think you are lost, you are not on earth at all, the impression that you're given. You just know you are dead, completely dead. And then in the face of those interrogators, you see, they're merciless, and you don't see any humanity, in those really who are our tormentors. Yeah. But the physical torture we already described. It is incredible. It is very cruel. Because you just don't know how you survive. You can't imagine, because you just think you're already dead. As I told you that you'll be beaten, you cry the first time. You cry, really. You cry. But then you can be beaten and you're beaten and you don't cry. You see what that is, because already the body has picked it more than enough, and there it is. You think you're dead. Full stop.
On the 17th day, Dr. Odhiambo Olel was taken to court and charged.
About 6:30, I was arraigned in court. Chunga came, very eloquent in prosecution. So I had to talk about everything, particularly propounding very much my relationship with Jaramogi Odinga. This is the man They went with him to Uganda, and his kingpin and all that.
He was handed a 5-year jail term for being a member of an illegal society.
For oath taking, I denied from the time beginning. I say we have Hippocratic oath which binds us to our clients. We don't take another oath. And in fact, we are convinced, even the two interrogators. Well, yeah, I think in this respect, doctor is right. So, 5 years imprisonment. By 8 o'clock, I was hounded into what they call Maria, this large prison van with many warders. I think I counted there were 8. I was handcuffed and to Kamiti Maximum prison. What was funny is that they were waiting for me as a celebrity, to shave my hair at that time, because I think we arrived there at 9 o'clock. Shave my hair, give me a new prison uniform, okay, and take me to block 6, which is maximum punishment block.
Dr. Olel says Kamiti Maximum prison was like life in another world.
Food is extremely bad. We feed on beans with ugali, which is very dirty, and vegetables, which in fact are no vegetables. This is sukuma, but the sukuma itself it's just like porridge, because there's nothing that you pick out from it. Very badly cooked. We were in cells from say 6 o'clock to 6 in the evening, except you allowed only time to come out to go and empty the little buckets that you have for, the waste as urine and feces. The bed bugs, there were lice in plenty. What they used to allow us a little bit of sunshine, but that is depended very much on the mercy of, of the humanitarian consideration on an individual warder. Some warders were very good. They could allow you, come out, and warm yourself, maybe lunch hour. Then, take a wash and you go back into your cells.
He was briefly moved to Eldoret prison, then taken back to Kamiti as his appeal continued.
Now we fought it, and good luck. Dr. Kamina fought it gallantly until we got a remission of from 5 years to 3 years, and that was a relief. At that time I had served almost 2 years by the time they were, giving me that 3 years.
He claims while in prison, authorities never paid attention to political detainees.
If one does not give you time, even your goat, you give your goat time to go and, you give them grass. But if you are a human being, you sleep on very dirty blankets with the lice, with the, with the bed bugs, okay, and you are brought food when your feces and urine is still there, my young brother. How do you imagine psychologically? And you are 5 in that place. Sometimes you slept and all these pants are filled up. And sometimes the kind of food you eat, the pants are not enough. Some had diarrhea until you get me the stool are on the floor. How do you feel about that? And then somebody brings you food to eat in that kind of situation. What kind of mental torture you think? Because I didn't want to go into a lot of these details. Leave alone that search, which we call terror. They call it terror. It is a very bad experience. When somebody come and knock your door, out, inje, and you're like dogs. And by the time you're going out, you are naked. And they are told, piga simu. Piga simu means you squat naked and you hold your hands like this and you squat. And by the time they come, they know certainly that you are in isolated block, nothing that is accessible to you. When your visitors come, they so seriously regulated that you have even no contact with somebody who comes to see you. There is weld mesh, and there is the ghost. How do you communicate when you even don't shake hands? Where do you get this contraband coming to you? So you just see it's deliberate, mechanism to give you maximum mental torture. And you are there throughout. By the time even this terror is completed is when you enter. By the time you enter, they had kicked all this, pans and feces, stool, urine, everywhere. You pick up from there. And then you're not even allowed to go and wash these blankets. I mean, you imagine what kind of mental torture is that? It's terrible. It's terrible. It's terrible. It's leave alone the physical torture that we had at Nyayo, but even in prisons it's terrible. And the visits only once in a month. And you're not able to even, connect with your people. You talk in a language that the warders must understand. It must be English or Kiswahili, but mostly you have the warder and you must have an officer in the rank of, or an inspector who understands English, particularly in our case who are special prisoners. So you can imagine, it is unbearable. It is not, you can't describe it unless you have a good language. It is seriously inhuman.
Of all the ordeals he underwent, there's one in particular that still lingers on his mind.
You don't know where you are. Then, you are pushed into a cell, all right? You are confined there, dark, with just small little lamp, dark walls, okay, very cold. And you just don't know what next. Yeah, your heart pumps until it sort of don't pump at all. You don't hear it pumping. And that beating, the first beating, was so telling. And you come back and get water and you sit on it and you are naked. It's so telling. Those first days, very, very chilling.
Dr. Odhiambo Olel is neither bitter with retired President Daniel Moi, nor does he regret his actions back then.
These are things that you do it voluntarily. Nobody came and asked me to, do this thing. But I was doing them, for good cause. Yeah, so I can't be bitter because he's somebody who was trying to entrench himself too much, but entrenching with bad intention to torture, to deny the country its opportunity to develop. And this I say you cannot be bitter. As long as what you are doing to change the people, to change, the perception, to get, the country moving to a right course, you just feel certainly what you've done is good.